Well, hello, Fred Wagner back again another day doing some painting. I thought I'd give you a little look around the area I'm painting in for my studio, temporary, until things change in the house, like my daughter getting married, moving out, freeing up one of the bedrooms, possibly for my art studio. We will see. I'm not pushing that. We've got a couple months before that is. But I thought I'd give you a little look at my studio and so you get an idea of what kind of area, what I'm set up like. Okay, hold on a second. This is going to spin on you, so close your eyes if you get seasick. Alright, as you can see right here, let me close this up and then back away. This is my studio setup. Right, there's my California compressor over here next to my wife's curio. Used to be a wine refrigerator and beverage refrigerator over there, but I decided to move it. Reason being, this wonderful art cabinet that was a gift from my wife was over where the wine refrigerator is, which is now sitting over here. That's the sideboard. Alright. But here's the art cabinet that we purchased. She gave it to me for a birthday present. And then my tabletop easel and my whiteboard that I put down to protect that little stand that was purchased for that corner. I didn't want to get paint all over it. I used to put a plastic cloth on it. Now I cut a piece of hardboard and whitewashed it so that, just for the reflective light, so that it'd be brighter on my painting. And as you can see, the painting's right there. The other problem I have is I sit in this little desk chair and pull up under this easel. Well, when the easel is back further, my elbow is right at the tabletop. And it's cut when I'm at a certain level of painting, like right about his nose. I have to bend my wrist, which puts extra strain on my elbows and causing my elbow to have tennis elbow, effectively, from stretching that tendon too much. So I'm going to try pulling this easel forward. Eventually, I want to rig a whole different easel. Once I go into my permanent studio area, permanent, nothing's permanent, I'm going to probably go back to either a floor easel or redesign this easel so that it overlaps and hangs below that desk a little bit down to my lap. That way I've got a larger easel. I may just buy wood and construct my own for my own purposes. Now you might be wondering, why don't I just use a tabletop that elevates like a drawing table? And that's not a bad idea, but then again, I have to raise my seating position to be at the proper height for that board. So either or. Now in my cabinets I have all my paints. Up here I have my airbrushes. Not so many anymore. I've reduced the amount of airbrushes that I have. I didn't see a need to keep them all. I've got an Iwata HP BCS, an Iwata HP CS. I've got a old Pash H and a Iwata HP-B. Yes, I'm an Iwata fan. Sorry, Pash. I'm sorry, Theron Chandler. All good brushes. And also over here on my stand right now is sitting my Custom Micron SB. I hope everybody that has purchased the airbrushes off me enjoys it. In here, underneath I've got all my extra needles. All my extra needles. I just threw these papers on top just to store them out of the way that I'm using for this painting. Next drawer down, I've got all my drawing pencils, erasers, my gloves. Next drawer down is my brushes, cleaning brushes, and painting brushes for oil painting. Next drawer down, I have my colored pencils. I've got my pastels. I've got my grandson's finger paints. Yeah, just miscellaneous drawer, really. Next one down is my cleaning drawer. And I also have some of my, I've just been throwing in my stencil pieces, my dryer sheets and that. Below that are the bigger drawers, which house all my paints, my Createx illustration, my ETAC EFX, excuse me. And then the last drawer down below is my private stock, my ETAC private stock. Wonderful paint for doing t-shirts and also automotive. You can use those on the automotive. Okay, well, I'm going to get started painting. I don't want to draw this out too much, but I usually store that stuff in the cabinet too, or also, and at night, but I pull that out during the day. Another reason I pulled this stand over next to me is so I don't have to slide it from there all the way over to there every day and start to destroy the screws that hold it together. This way it's stationary. I don't have to move it. I can just reach over, get a bottle of paint, and then scoot back over to my easel. Okay, we're going to get painting, and hope you're enjoying this series. Well, here we go. We're getting started here. I'm just mixing up my base color, my original base color, once again. And then I'm going to alter it because today we're going to start working into the mouth and down in a little bit of the chin here. Also extend some of this. Then we'll be then we'll probably just keep working on the dark areas. One thing I think I might do is start putting in some of this dark around the face so that I can get a truer sense of my value in my flesh tone. It's hard to go by it right now, mainly because that white, all that white around it makes it appear darker than it really is. I mean, in my lighting here, I can tell, I can see how light it is, but I've noticed in photographs that I've taken on my phone and posted that it appears even darker than it really is. So I've got a lot of wiggle room here. But anyways, I got my base color mixed up here. Now in the lips, it's a little rosier color. So I'm not going to mix, I'm not going to adjust my base color. I'm going to keep my base color that. But what I'm going to do is put in my cup my base color. Then I'm going to adjust within that just by adding a drop or two. That way I don't have a ton of it because I don't have a lot. Then after that we'll go in and we'll start misting some color, transparent colors over it. And this is still going to be opaque. There's no need right now to put in anything different. So we're going to just put a couple drops. I do not save my paint that often because I don't mix that much. I'm going to put 4 drops of the base. I used to put them in cups, but there was so little left at the time, at the end. You know, you could mix a whole bunch, but then you got to label it, and if you don't use it up, that's going to be wasted paint. So in this case, if I was doing multiple portraits and keeping approximate same color, then I would do something like that and store a bunch of it. So what I want to do is I want to pink this up a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some magenta. Possibly a drip or two of white. We'll see where this goes. Trying to be careful I don't get paint all over. That cold front moved through, and boy, that was affecting the way the paint came out of the bottle. I'm just going to put 1 drop of magenta at the moment because I've got 4 of the base, so I'm putting 1 drop. while I'm figuring this out. And then I think I might put a little 1 drop of golden ochre in there. It's a nice yellowy brown. I love this color, especially working on fur. I gotta order some. Wow, that's getting low. My wife's gonna love to hear that. Let's put 2. 2 golden ochre, and I've got the 1 magenta. Let's see where our colors go. I want a rosy, not real drastic rose, just a rosier flesh color. Yeah, that looks really good. That looks really nice. I think that'll work out perfect. Okay. I'm deciding whether I want to extend it. I don't think I do right now. I don't think I want to extend it. Okay, I've moved my compressor, like I said, it a little bit. I want to see what the volume level now, because I had it right next to me. So you guys will let me know. Hey, I just want to shout out. Thank you all for your support. I hope you all are growing in your airbrush skills and getting to know the Lord through what I talk about while I'm painting. That's my highest priority, is that the Lord's gospel will be shared. Forgot to loosen my nut. And once again, I almost forgot, at the beginning of painting for the day, since the airbrush has been sitting, you want to give that needle a 1/4 turn and reseat it. Now there was reducer in here, so I gotta spray this off. What I do is, when I clean my airbrushes, little helpful tip here, when I clean my airbrushes, if I'm going to be painting within the next day or 2 or a couple days, I put it away wet. Which, what I mean by putting it away wet is I'll stick some 4011 reducer or my cleaner. Usually the 4011 reducer. There's my color. Looks perfect. I'll stick that in the brush and I'll leave the chamber full. I clean it, yes, I definitely clean it all out, but then I leave it wet so that I don't have dried paint in there. So right now we're just going to mist, maybe put a few lines on this gentleman's. We can leave some areas lighter white. So I'm pulling almost dagger strokes up from the bottom of the lip. It's going to be shadowed more. This side's going to be even shadowed even darker. Oh, I know something. Why don't I pan in on that mouth, and then I'll set my manual focus on that. Let's pan in there. Let's see what we can do. I might have to adjust you. All right, let's recenter you. Okay, can you see that mouth? Hard to tell from my vantage point on this camera when it's centered. That was my head shadow. Okay, that's probably good. And let's put you in manual focus so that you don't go out of focus. Okay. And here we go. Let's get working on this. Taking my crown cap off. I'm trying to keep my elbow away from that table because I don't want to start getting that tendonitis. That hurt for a long, long time. All right, we're going to come over into this area. We don't have to be horribly accurate on this. put in a little bit. See, I imagine the little creases in his lip are more horizontal. Maybe a couple little vertical lines here and there. Alright. Shadowing that lip down the bottom. I hope you can see this. And then we're going to, the upper part of the lip folds in a little bit, so we can shadow a little bit of that too. Alright, let's deepen this. We're going to use some browns in that to darken the back side of that lip. But we're trying to give the illusion of shape on this lip. Alright, and then on the bottom. And in this instance, we can use the eraser to redefine some of these highlights. Right, we got a good base to start with there. Give it a mist over the entire thing to deepen it. And this is going to go back to the regular base flesh tone with the darker colors below it. But that'll give the pinker look. You know what? We can use this. I think we're going to use this into the corners of the eyes a little bit. Because that actually is a similar tone to that pinker corners of the eyes. Maybe a little bit on the outside edge here. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm at least letting you know. Okay, let's go back in. I was going to do the live feed once again, as in part 5, but things didn't work out. I don't know if it was my internet buffing speed caused a lot of latticing in the image, and I did not like the video quality. It also transferred over at 720p rather than 1080p, which I usually record at. I don't do 4K only because I don't have a 4K TV myself. I don't know how many, most people probably do. I'm just using my hard eraser, and I chiseled it. And I'm going to erase down for some of these. And we can even pick some spots with the, we'll probably will. I want to do all of it this color. There's dark from a drawing that I did. I don't want to smudge my painting up with that. Alright. I'm just going to put a few marks. This side's going to start getting... Alright. Using that little point I did as to draw lines. You could do with... well, I wouldn't use the Euro tool in that instance because that'll end up almost making it look like hair. Alright, now we're just going to pick a few spots with my X-Acto blade. My darn hands are shaking a little bit too much today. Just a few. I think I'm getting too old. My control is starting to waver on me. Okay, we're just gonna pick a few here, highlights, and we'll go back over and remist it, and then I'm doing not only up and down, but I'm doing a couple sides. I mean, they don't have to be gigantous highlights in there. Just subtle little ones. It's nighttime. I tell you. I would have been shaking in my boots like the scripture says. These shepherds were afraid, man. They're like, whoa, what are these mighty men of God appearing to me? And their clothes were brilliant, probably like brilliant white. A lot of the instances when angels appeared, they usually come in, well, in every case that I've read in the Bible, they've always been in male form. But the Lord said in heaven there's no male nor female as far as that goes. So I don't know what's for the angels that is. So I suppose they could come in whatever form they choose. I've never seen an instance of an angel being a baby or a woman in scriptures. So, alright, we've done and scratched in some highlights. Now we're going to go back in and just mist over this. And we'll just pick a few more little ones. Let's, I'll tell you what. Right now that lip looks really, really funny. We're gonna deepen this color in a second. I'm just gonna bleed this up in a little bit more. Maybe, just maybe, I'll give a little indication of the bottom gums underneath these teeth. He's probably got semi-rotted teeth. And I think I'm gonna also give an indication of the tongue, the top of his tongue here. There wouldn't be much highlight on that tongue, so I'm not going to go crazy on that. So, right now you probably say, oh, that looks like an upper lip. No, the upper lip, and hey, good thing I said that, because I'm going to need some of this color for an indication of the upper lip under this beard, or mustache beard. Okay, I'm doing good for the mustache. So that's going to drag down the mustache into that. Okay. Put my crown cap back on to protect that. Go back and I'm going to just a couple little specular highlights here, man. Not much at all. Just a few on the uppermost part of this lip. Just picking out a little bit. Not big. Maybe a little bit over here for the edge of that lip, and we'll round this down around that lip. Okay, let's take this color and let's deepen it for the shadowier areas. I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna use 2 drops of sepia. Into what's remaining in this. I'm going to add 2 drops of the sepia, and I think I'm going to add, where is it? The red ochre. Two drops of that. Let's see what we got here. And I'm going to make this transparent because this is going to overlay it. So, okay, shake up my transparent base. I've got a fair amount still of that. I'm going to put in, come on you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember that was opaque, so I'm going to go a little bit overboard with the transparent base. Then I'm also going to add in two drops of water. I want this pretty workable. Mix this up. It is too brown. Too bright reddish brown, so it's not going to go right with this. So what I'm going to do is add some more sepia. Two more sepia smoke. Then I'm going to put in, I think, which blue do I want? I'm going to put in a little blue. Ultramarine blue will probably be okay in there. It's going to create almost a black. Brown and blue make black. I'm sure y'all know that. Might as well reiterate it anyways. This will make a grayed out brown. I could tint it with some gray. That's not too bad. Let's go one more drop of blue. Deepen this. And yes, I should be writing this down, but I improvise a lot. I custom mix if you want to write it down, by all means. Okay, we got a nice dark chocolate brown, and then we can tint it with black later if we want. I would rather not go with black. Let's spray this through. I don't want to backflush it. Backflushing does not work very well. So if you just spray it until the new color starts coming through, you're okay. The darker color will overpower the lighter color. Let's check this against my base even. I don't think it's coming out yet. Okay. That's not bad. We'll just use this to tint for now. And then we'll go back in even darker. Just getting a little bit of that modeling of the lip. I don't want him to look like he's got bubbly lips though. We could even tint down here because this is closer to that darker flesh that we were going to do. get a little into that base. I'm doing really fine lines in here. His lips would probably be quite cracked in that from the sun. Trying to make something that's believable for lips. And we can use some of this in here maybe. Shadowing under those teeth. I'm just thinking of how this would be shaped. Lighten up some of that coming down, because its teeth would be showing a little bit down into here. That's just the top edge of the teeth is all. Right, we're gonna like so. Maybe a little more. A little deeper. Over this side. And then up in here. Maybe a little showing there on that. That's around to the mouth. And let's see. I really should look at some examples of someone's mouth that's open. Get a little better. Or even look in the mirror at my own. I know it looks like he's wearing lipstick. I know. Hush. Alright. Now we could maybe miss a little of this into the corners of the eyes for a little shadowing effect. We could even use this a little bit underneath the eyes. Okay, I'm going to back you out and then change your focus. Do this. Okay. Now let's deepen this right up, I guess. Actually, you know what, before I do that, I might even go back over with the base flush stone. I'm going to do a little bit of soft eraser on this lip. That side would be catching the light, so it's not going to be as dark there. Maybe over here we'll get it on the top edge. You know, something like that. Okay, I'm going to change out this color, go back to my base. Just going to run a little water through it to clear it out. Because I'm going back to a lighter color, I want to run a little water through, so I'm gonna take a Q-tip and clean out this cup. Come on, you. Alright. I'm cleaning the inside of the cup just with water. Get some of that out. Give a little rinse-see. And then just run clear water through the brush. Not going to do no intensive cleaning inside there. No need to. Alright, now let's go back to that base color. Just 3 drips maybe. A little spray through. We're just gonna mist this, I think, over, since this is opaque, and we'll let it shift it. This will tie it back in with the rest of the painting. Then we can start working this base color down into here. Just misting it in. Not bad over there. I think that's a better situation. Same up above. We're going to mist this in. We're going to be scratching all this, so don't worry. And then we want to work this into the side over here more. Alright. Good. I'm going to go back and bring up a couple of those highlights once again. Like I said, they're not going to be real pronounced because, you know, it's evening. Let's maybe get those across. And then we can back off this little shadowy area. Okay. I'm going to take that base color and I'm going to add in, make it nice and dark. So to do that, we're going to do the base color, a couple drops of blue, maybe 3, some sepia, smoke, let's do a drop of violet. Violet will enrich the browns on a painting. And then let's see where we are with this color before I add any more and have to restart it. And we are way too blue right now. Way too blue. So we will add some more of this base flesh tone. Can always make more. And rub-a-dub. Can go back with some well, I just noticed something. And maybe that's that. Why? Who knows? Gonna do that. Let's see where our color is here. I'm being very experimental. Alright, that pushed us way gray. We are actually right at a gray, a bluish gray. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to that black and we're just going to tint it a little bit with the black. I didn't want to go to the black, but I mean, I don't have a dark enough brown. This is just going to be our darkest colors anyways. Let's see where this little bit of tint goes. I mean, I don't have to use this color. I can change my mind. It definitely took it dark. And you know what we might do? Instead of wasting this color, we will go into the mouth, inside the mouth, and get that. And then maybe intensify some of our other darks. So we will go some transparent base into this. Yeah, that went real south. But we're not gonna waste it. No. Not gonna waste it at all. We're gonna put in some transparent. Maybe 4 transparent. I don't want it to be too transparent. Well, no, you know what? Yeah, I want to go more. Let's go more transparent here. And we're going to add a couple drops of water. Okay, if the water wants to drop out, sometimes that's weird how that does that. We're going to go 5 drops of water. We're about, oh, let's see, if I were to calculate, we're probably about 20% reduced. Okay, let's spray this through. Take off the cap. Give it a little spray on our test sheet, definitely black. That black is just so overpowering, it's unreal. We're just going to use that to darken in the back, inside the mouth. what will we have over here? We maybe have a few teeth showing up. And we're just going to go underneath. A little shadowing in here. Like I said, we're just going to deepen this in. Now we can actually use this to tint on that lip. The upper lip, there's going to be a lot of this underneath. We're going to pull a lot of hairs over this, so I'm going to have to be precise on that. Okay. And we can come up into these nostrils. Maybe shadow under the nose a little more. We don't want to gray them out too much. And up in here we can mist over a little bit. Maybe dust out a little more out here. And again in this corner of these eyes. And then a lot more over in here. You see how that's transparent? It's just deepening it. I'm just misting over it. Okay. And then we could probably start using this to start filling in over here. Got a bluish tone tint to it, so and that just pops that side of that face out. All right, and then down here we can start to deepen this in, and then along here, pulling down into the beard. Also over here. There's the mouth. Like I said, I was gonna darken that in anyways. And then this corner of the mouth, I think I'm going to knock that way back. Like that. Same over here. Start knocking that back a little bit more. because we're going to build up that. And bring this a little more down into here. Now you thought that was going to be too rosy red, huh? Little did you know. Okay, we're going to just... This is only because I had this color in the brush. Get those pupils nice and dark. I was thinking about changing the shape. His pupils would be open a little more because of nighttime. However, with this, there we go. And over here, this is starting to bother my elbow. Just getting these shadowy areas. Using this on the wrinkles, a little more depth in there. Don't want to go too far. And again on the in the eyebrow areas, start to shade that back. I might mix a little bit more brown into this. Then definitely let's intensify this up here. It's all gonna be bled back. See how that pops that face right out. I'm putting this underneath for the beard, shadowy areas. Just real loosely. Probably gonna hit some yellow into this. And this side of the mouth is going to be shadowier. Upper lip. Now, let's take out some of this. Alright, and then we're going to go back in and add some. So I'm going to pull out a cup here, and I'm going to, there we go. I'm going to take out some of this color. I don't need it all in there. I'm going to save that black for the moment, for today. I'm going to leave the cup, right, with the residue. Then I'm going to add in my base. I still got a mist over. Now what I want is I want to deepen and gray out some of this base. Okay. Let's see what we got here. See if it's something I want to use. Alright. It's a lot lighter gray tone. What I think I might do, I'm going to add in a bunch of not a bunch, but about 5 to 6 transparent base. And I think I'm going to start, I'm going to add a couple drops of the golden ochre. Maybe 2. Well, 3 fell in, so I guess we're going with 3. Let the Lord decide. He's a better judge than I am. It's probably going to go a little greenish gray. Yeah. Exactly where I thought it was going. Definitely a greenish gray. Spray that through. Alright, because I don't want a black. And I'm going to tint some of this with yellow. Right now I'm just pushing back some of this to make it a little bit deeper. Not all of it. It's a very transparent color. Now, I was telling the one person that I'm using a lot of very muted flesh tones. Not your typical flesh tones, but you remember, you're not going to see a lot of color at night. But I didn't want to make this a monochrome painting. The back side of this eye, maybe some. And all I'm doing is deepening these wrinkles. I can put some of this down into this lip just to darken the bottom of it, even under here. Now his back side of his teeth, I can use this kind of in his teeth. Still got a little bit of opacity to it. Just give him a little more shadowy here. See, when you get onto the, it's amazing the way this is working. Because when you get into the lighter areas, this appears dark. When you get into the darker areas, this appears light. Because it's like a mid-tone almost. Just to deepen that a little bit. Okay. I'm thinking. I want to think where I want to go with this. I want to put a little bit of a yellow tint in there for that fire light hitting on this side. This side I want to keep kind of bright. So right at the moment, I'm going to go into a soft eraser, and I'm going to start just popping some of this edge a little bit so it's not so grayed out. Just keep some of that intensity. Now, you're probably wondering why I didn't use a shield over there. Because I don't want this edge so bright and pronounced. I want to keep more of my highlights inward, but on that side of the face. So I'm just opening up a few in there. I'm kind of using a circular pattern. Same on the nose, on the bridge of the nose, not on this edge. We're going to brighten that up a little bit. Okay. Going around some of these pores, remembering to leave a few. Same over here. Maybe a little bit on that nostril there. And we can hit just a couple, maybe in this lip again. Nice drastic tone. Maybe just a hair over here. Make that lip pop. And then on the top side, maybe a little bit going in here. Let's bring these back up a little bit on top of these wrinkles to match the top of his eye. Right. Maybe like that. And possibly like over in here. Maybe some are catching the light still a little bit. Yeah, I think that's working out for us. And this, I don't... There, that's a little better. It's got a real sense of that direction of that light coming down on him. Let's start maybe picking that mustache and beard. We're going to pull some of these now down onto that lip. We don't want to make them all go in the same way on this drawing. That's why I wasn't too worried about. Get a few coming out this way. Hope you are understanding what I'm doing here. Starting to build that mustache area. Now over here, it normally has a tendency of curling in. Plus over here, you wouldn't have it as bright, so maybe not as many will show up. We can always push it back. But I turn the blade as I'm working, because a lot of times it'll roll the edge of the blade a little bit. So if you turn it periodically, you'll get it to scratch better. Now you can't see this over here that well because I haven't worked on that really. We'll go back in, we'll push some of these back and do a second layer. Okay, that's looking good. Looking good in the neighborhood. Let's do. Now I've got this other bristly brush. You can use this. It's thicker wire. You can even use this to do this on claybord. It's essentially the same. You can multiple hairs at once. Just showing you a different brush, It's a scratch board brush, is what that is. You can make one homemade. That came in a kit for doing scratch board. Let's take this grayed out color. We're almost gonna call it a day. I want to tint it first though. We're gonna just go in. We're gonna tint this with this color. To gray back that beard a little bit. And then we're going to go back in. Whoa. Okay. I lost my crown cap. I must go look for it. I think I will stop the video for a second while I look for this. Otherwise you're going to get bored. Ow. Wow. Just got shocked by the camera. That's how dry it is in this house because of cold weather. Trying to keep us warm. Alright. I'm also going to use my Euro Tool scratch brush and bring up a few thicker areas. As you can see, a little bit different look to that. A little softer. but I'm just intensifying some of the thicker areas of hair in the beard. Making sure I change directions in this case. And over here it would be a little bit more. I've used 3 different scratching tools. This just makes it a little bit quicker. Okay. Now I'll go back in with this and kind of try to tie some of this in. Get some bright ones. Mainly to the front of this, where that light is really reflecting. And pretty much what you're doing is you're digging into the board and going down to the clay surface. So you get some nice intense whites. Over here I don't want it as bright because it's curling around. So we're going to take this color once again. We're not going to obliterate all of it. We're just going to start to pick in some of these areas. The top edge. Bleeding that back a little bit over here. Just to get a depth of the hair on that lip. Yeah, I'll even bring you in a little closer. Take you off auto for a second, zoom you in a little more, and then back to manual. Okay. Just so you can get a little better sense of what I'm doing in here. Especially underneath. Right. Now we're just going to pick just a few here and there. Not a lot. And a couple maybe over here. I think a longer beard and mustache is easier to portray than it is to let's take this color and let's darken this in over here. Right. You can bleed it out into this. I'm gonna start blending that out. using that same color I have in the brush. And then we can kind of shadow that back a little to give the illusion that his forehead's underneath there. Maybe a little more. Going where the Lord wants me to with this. Okay. Now this is curling around over here, okay, to go underneath or around the side of his face. So that's, okay. So we gotta kind of match that so his mustache would come around. I got a little bit high, so over there. So let's make it come up a little higher over here to match that. Otherwise it's going to look funny. Alright. So we'll come out. That mustache would come around kind of like this. And we're going to push that under. And then we can start, maybe just start pulling a little bit of this underneath. Switch over to the Euro tool. I think we got this a little too high over here. So I'm just going to push this back. Yeah, that looks right. That looks better. And then erase back into this to make that side of his cheek. Because you could see that maybe through. And in here. I got so his cheek kind of rounds out. I don't want it so aggressive over here. Just kind of bring that out just a little more. I want to go down to that white, so I'm using the soft just to bring up a few of those highlights. Because this would be rounding out, and that's this right over here on this side. Going down around. Alright, gotta stop ya. Gotta go fold laundry. But let's pan out a little bit. Get a truer sense. Here we go. Step back. I like to step back occasionally and get a idea of how it's looking. Being up on it, my eyes want to blur out on me. But there's a lot more done today. A little longer session, but I do want to mist in some of those yellows, like I was saying to you, in a couple seconds. So before I go further on with that beard, I want to put in some of that yellow gold color. So bear with me. Papa's back in the house, y'all. Darn laundry. Can't do itself. I'm going to put some of this underneath that lip before I go and switch over to my yellow to tint. I need some of this color down into here. It's so green. You say, why would you put green into a painting? I don't know. Just wanted to. Just because I could. Okay. Okay, let's just to deepen that up so I could. Oh, actually, you know what, too? Let's go back in here and just a little bit to push some of this back underneath. Get the curl of that lip. Okay, like so. Maybe a little bit over there. And I gotta re-emphasize some of those eyebrows too. What am I looking for? And we're just gonna pull a few of these back up again. Alright. Same in here. Maybe a couple. Just a few. Not a lot. Maybe pull a couple across that darker spot. Same over here. And just to start bringing that up, we're gonna make this kind of down in there for now. Let's say maybe his beard curls like that, and then again this one curls like that. You notice I didn't really do any skin texturing in there. Let's do a couple, maybe a couple just sporadic ones coming off that bottom lip, like in there. We'll have to push these back, same over here. Just a couple. But the main gist of them are coming over here. Like so. Just to get this beard going in here. I got his beard in the drawing that it kind of curls out around this chin. So it's gonna start doing that right in here. We can use the scratch brush in a lot. I'm just getting this to lay out what I'm wanting to do in here. Alright. And wonderful. This will get the start of the beard around the face. It's gonna start in here. Maybe we'll have a couple stray ones up in this area coming up. Like so. Just a few. Don't need a lot. I don't need a Santa Claus beard. Delivery. Okay, now we can use this just to get in a few heavier areas. This is just getting in a lot more quicker. Plus I want the bottom of the beard a little softer. Paying attention to that. Remembering to leave some darks. Beard's gonna curl under. And that's where we're gonna get some of that yellow reflection off the campfire, like I was saying before. Let's do this. And then in here. Okay. And we can work a little bit into here, not a lot. I want this to be real sporadic on the sides of his face, I think. Okay. Hit this mist over this, push it back. Utilizing that diluted color that I was making. And the same, I'm gonna push underneath some of the curl of that mustache to push it back a little. Toning down that beard so it's not so white, and we'll just pull some white highlights on it. over here it's going to be a lot darker, so we don't want to put too much in the way of highlights, but we want to build that undertone and then mist it back again. These up in here that I scratched, we're going to knock those back. Same with these under here and over here. Knock them back in. Why is that so loud? Oh, it's because I unplugged it. It reset itself. Well, now that I've done as much of the beard area that I want to do for right now, I'm going to switch over and mist that yellow onto the skin to give it a more natural glow. Not a lot, just a little bit here and there. And but what I'm doing is I'm rinsing out that dark gray color. And you want to make sure you get most of that, pretty much all of that nice dark gray out of there, because you don't want that contaminating that yellow in the cup. So we're gonna just take, I'm gonna put in like 4 drops of water. It's a transparent yellow, but I'm going to make it a little more transparent. I don't want it to get any opacity to it at all. So let's do 4 drops of transparent base. And then we're going to just throw a little bit of yellow in this, just 2 drops maybe. Like I said, I don't want it opaque at all. This is just to tint the flesh. Let's go with 2. And of course my dog wants to go out because my father-in-law just heated up his lunch and she thinks, hey, I want a treat too. Now I could put some orange in this. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe the yellow's going to be too much. I'm trying to think. Why is that green text in the wrong spot? Let's put a drop of orange in this too, because I don't want it so bright yellow. It's not daylight. But I don't want to put red, because red's going to be too much. So we'll do 2 orange. Orange will also neutralize any blue shift in the color. Yeah, I think that'll be good, just some orange. Give it a squirt through. Check it out on my test page. Perfect. Now we're just going to mist this just to tint it. Gives it more of a natural feel to it. And again, I said about, let's do that to the bottom of the beard. Give this orange color, the reflecting color. Same to the bottom of the mustache, bottom of the nose, bottom of the eyelids, or eyebrows. You see, it's a much healthier looking skin tone. And being it's so transparent, I can be liberal with it and not have to worry about it overpowering. I don't want to go too far My dog gave up. Hold on, Princess, I'll let you out. Okay, I want that glow to be this side of the face. There. The opposite side, I want a whiter. That's what I wanted. Just get this side of the face really tinted. There we go. Beautiful. Right, let me take a break and let my poor doggie out and give her her treat that she so much desires. What's that you say? I gotta finish his eyes? You're right, I do. So, let's see. I think we're going to use a burnt umber in his eyes. So it's we're just going to transfer over real quick. I gotta finish his eyeballs. I was debating a green, blue, but like I said, I don't think that would look natural. Okay. And I'm going to keep this a transparent color. I left a little bit of the orange in there, but we're going to go burnt umber. That's Payne's Gray. Oh, that's what I should have used in there, Payne's Gray. Duh. Forgot I had that. There we go, burnt umber. I think we're going to use a combination of that for the darkest tone. So we're going to go a little burnt umber. I didn't even need that much, but that's okay. That's okay. Everything's okay. Use it. And, gonna put some transparent base in that brown. It looks real dark in the brush. I think I might put one golden ochre into that burnt umber. Oh, well, I guess I put two. God is directing my hand. Silly me to think I am in control. Yes, that's a good brown. I like that brown. We're just going to do the eyes and spray that through. Get our eyes down to a natural color. Put in the highlights. Let's put in just a little bit of flecking. Ooh, I gotta be careful. Being that I reduce this so much, I can blow out my paint color. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to pick out a couple flecks in the eye. Let's adjust this so you can see what I'm doing up in the eyes. I know I got a thank you. I got to put you back to auto. Turn off manual. Come on, you. Sorry for the delay, folkies. folks. Let's bring it in just a hair more so you can see what I'm doing. Bear with me. If I had multiple cameras, you guys could watch this. All I did there was what was the remainder in the eye. I went and just put that mix. Go back to manual so it doesn't change. Okay, I'm going to take my hard eraser that I chiseled down. I'm just going to pop a couple little highlights into this eye. And just a couple, because you wouldn't be able to see that much detail. And we don't have to go crazy on this one. Just to give that eye the feeling. Let's mist over that again. In case anybody's wondering, this is a MAC valve. Since I don't have a MAC valve on this brush, I put a MAC valve down there. What a MAC valve does is it allows you to adjust the air pressure at the brush to whatever your needs are. Alright, that's good, that's good. Now, I'm going to take this brown and I'm going to shoot some Payne's Gray into it. And I think that's going to be my deepest color. I'm going to go 5 Payne's Gray. Take that brown real dark. And I think I might add 1 drop of violet into that brown to enrich it. I'm very liberal with the colors that I use. This is going to be a nice shadowing color. And do the outside of the irises, or the corneas. That's it, pupil, the iris, outside of the iris. The cornea is the outside of the eye. Alright, let's see what our color actually looks like. A nice deep brown. Beautiful, beautiful. It still is quite reduced. It should spray rather easily. And just as I suspected, it does. Okay, we're going to shadow the top of the eye a little with this color. Same over here, at the edge of that eye. Shadow. And we're going to come in and hit that pupil. Before I do that, I'm going to use this brown to intensify some of the bottom edges of the wrinkles that we kind of lost. Here. Just to really pick up this Okay. Same over here. Same over here, we're just going to mist down, get this a little darker than the back side of this. Maybe a little shadow over there. Not sure how far I want to take this. Let's deepen in this. And over here, intensify this area with this color, and then blend it out. Oh, I forgot. I was way over there. All right, let's getting too shaky. All right, let's pop that. Before I go and leave the eyes, let's do a little something to this eye. What I'm thinking, I don't know if I can manage it and imagine. I need a real pointy eraser. Let's try this. I was thinking of trying to get the idea of an angel standing there. I can't see what I'm doing. No, never mind. We're not going to do it after all. Let's kind of make it starburst looking. Yeah, that's what I wanted. All right, I think that looks cool. I was gonna try to draw in with the eraser a little shape of a man, but let's highlight that. A little moisture look to the bottom. Get a couple, just a couple of these. And again over here, just a few. Got to kind of keep it similar. It does not have to be perfectly symmetrical. Maybe a little bit more up on the top of this eyelid. Same over here. A little bit right across there. And the same over here. Get really that sparkle. The shine. Also gives that eye that definite roundness that I was hoping for. Take you off here. Zoom you out. Whoa. Wrong way. Leave it to me. Okay, my friends. Let's, I gotta bring in a few of these eyebrow hairs. Give that a little fuller look. Just a little. Not a lot. I don't want his eyebrows overpowering. That way at least it matches the beard. Maybe one that curls down, or a couple. Same over here. We'll do one or two that kind of defy the direction. Definitely old man eyebrows. Don't snicker. It happens. I'm going to tone these back a little bit more again with that gray brown, that brown color. Pulling it through a few areas just to give it a little more realistic depth to it. Alright. That's pretty good. I liking that. Alright, let's take this color. We will go one. Oh, hang on. Before I do that. And then this is going to probably be it for this session. This is just to get this bleeding off the edge of this. So it's not so. Now this down here, this can stay sharper. Same with this area here. Utilizing what's in the brush. No reason to waste it. It can be used. I got lots of areas in here that I can use it in. Over here. Once we start putting in the hair. Okay. Let's use this in the beard too. Some of this. I mean, if it was in his eyebrows, it should be coming into the beard. For the most part, it can be a backing color. Same up in here. We don't want just pure white. I don't. And it also kind of ties the painting together a little more. But Okay. Gives a real sense of that scraggly looking beard. And it also gives depth to it, so it's not all, you know, just one level. Okay, let's give him a couple of these hairs a little inward twist. Maybe a couple catching highlights over in here, a few down here. And there was one other thing I wanted to do, and I'm trying to remember what it was before I shut it down for today. Take out this orange line, so I'll tie this into a highlight. Don't want to go too far. Actually, right here. That one a little too light. So, what I will do, this is a very heavy color. Just kind of re-emphasizing some of these wrinkles. Keep in mind direction, shadow. Let's maybe do a couple pores. Darker pores. Give it more realism. Same in the nose. Maybe just a couple. Get that a little more. There. That's a little better. I like that. Alright, let's one last thing. Maybe I don't know. Let's take the brown in there right now. We'll go 1, 2, 3. Oh, Payne's Gray. Sorry. I'm sorry, this is a long session I've gotten myself into. And I brought you along with me. Spray that through to get the darker. Make sure I'm into the darker color. Yes. Okay. Hit the mouth, knock that back in a little bit. Underside this lip. Next to this nose. Now down around this beard. Down here it'd be quite shadowed. And same over in here. Trying to think how much how deep these would get. I don't think that line over there would be so intense. So I don't want to darken that one. My natural inclination would be hit it, darken it. But I don't really see that that would be that dark. So let's not hit it. Let's lighten this edge of this nose. That'll give that illusion. Yeah, that's it. And same here. Just gonna catch a little more of this highlight because we just blasted that a little bit. A little more like that. Maybe a little tiny bit right here on the cheek. Just a little lighter. Just to bring that up a little. Got to make it look like the pores of the flesh. You don't want just scribbling. Okay. Alright, let's take this darker color. Maybe just a few little spots in the eyebrows, not a lot, just a couple. Same over here. Just a couple little dark areas. Same in the mustache. A few little darker areas. Bleed out, take some of that out from the bottom. Okay, now I hope this is all making sense why I'm doing what I'm doing. And let's make a little more division in there. Don't want everything smooth looking. That's gotta go darker. Okay. I think we're just about there with the face. I don't want to go too dark comparatively. I want a definite sense of light. Alright, yeah, that'll be good, that'll be good. We'll just take some of this brown and we'll work it into the beard now. And that'll be it for today. Leave some shadowy areas down inside the beard. This is for you. I don't want to go too heavy in here, but like the old Bill Alexander saying, you need dark to show light. And over here. Definitely be darker. I want my scratchy brushy, and we're just going to lightly bring in some of these, not a lot. That'd be the curve of the chin is going around this way. Okay. Yeah, I think that it would just be mainly this top edge catching some of that angel light. Underneath it wouldn't be as pronounced, so it would go softer scratches, and then we can knock it back if we want. But here I can get multiple hairs around that beard. Then we're gonna call it a session. We'll save the upper part for another session, because we gotta start working in the ear and the neck. So to finish off the beard would be foolish, because we're just gonna go over it in spots. Keeping it really random. Alright, that's going to be our session for today. Pull this out and clean all the paint out of my gun. I'm going to take you off of manual focus, pull you around to the front like I've been doing. So you can see what's going on here. And I just want to thank you all for joining in with me again today for a little more work on this Shepherds Watch Their Flock. And make sure you subscribe and like my videos. Leave comments, please. Always love to read comments and see what people are thinking. And, you know, spread the word. God is good, always, and He won't let you down. I hope this is a blessing to you. I hope you're learning and enhancing your painting skills. And we'll continue on in the next session. God bless. Have a good day.